It's 7:40. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television, and you are watching First Warning Live, as in weather, sponsored by Marco's Pizza. Now, we're under the great weather pattern that we've seen over the weekend, so my question is, would this be a good time to take your photo? I've got a funny story for you at the end of the live stream, but I first got to get to the weather because some of that is really why we're here. Not some of it, it's why we're here. We're also going to be giving away some free pizza this very week. So we're going to be giving away all kinds of pizza over the last couple weeks. This is episode, by the way, number 39. We've done 39 episodes of this live stream, which is an experiment. We're just practicing. We're just testing it out to see if you like this format. By the way, this is the last week of July. I was beating this drum pretty hard last week because I knew things would change. Did we feel like 106 today? No. Did we even feel like 90 today? No. No. In fact, if you look where we've been the last 3 days, we've been at 79 degrees. And guess what? It felt like about 80 degrees. It really didn't feel much different. When you look at this, we're now 4 days below. It's like a new month. I said it would be a new weather attitude. And really, that's what we've had. In fact, there are some, and I'm looking at last week's note here from Kim. She says, love it. She says, I'm waiting, David, patiently. Bring it down. Bring these temperatures down. Bring the humidity down. And we did. I mean, I didn't do it. I'm just the messenger. But I digress. By the way, I've got a big announcement to make. First, I want to talk about the pizza. By the way, there's a brand new location. I've got so much to cover. In 20, 30 minutes, I'm going to do my best to squeeze it all in. There are 5, now soon to be 6, 5, soon to be 6 locations where you can get this free pizza that we're going to be giving away. All you have to do is go to our webpage, WTKR.com/Marcos. They're adding a brand new location. How many of you know, from a show of comments, know where Great Bridge Middle School is? Great Bridge Middle School? Oh yeah, that's just around the corner. Or, I don't know, maybe in your neighborhood. But that location's coming soon. It's about maybe a quarter mile across the street from Great Bridge Middle School. But that's coming up. But there are 3 locations in Virginia Beach, 1 in Chesapeake, 1 in Norfolk, that they're going to be giving away free pizza. All you do is register. There's even a deal of the week right now. I think it's cool because if you ever get tempted, I'm like you. If I get tempted to go through a drive-thru, I know I'm going to spend more than $7.99. This is an awesome promo code, WTKR Lunch. Save you some money, might as well. Whether it's, there's actually pick one of the below. Want a small 1-topping pizza with a 20-ounce drink, a pizza bowl, a Pizzoli, a regular size salad, or a 6-inch sub. You can't go wrong. WTKR Lunch, that would be as you go to Marcos.com. So love them be able to give this, and this is available only between 11 and 3. I got to keep make that aware. So that promo code, WTKR Lunch, is something they're going to be exercising this week. By the way, the Pizza for a Year certificate looks like this, and now that we're in August, it's like a punch card. If you get one, we gave one away to Timothy Camp of Chesapeake last week. He was last week's big winner, and we also gave away 10 pizza pies, individual pizzas like this one last week as well. So I just wanted to remind you, you can sign up to satisfy your appetite. Register to go to WTKR.com/Marcos. Okay, back to the weather. The big announcement that I wanted to share with you as we look at obviously the cooler weather is that we've added officially announced a brand new member of the WTKR First Warning Weather Team. We've been working with 3 people, myself included. We've had, of course, Miles Henderson. He's been here 15 years. Derek Getter, a little more than a year. But we've just added a great addition. I wanted to introduce you to him by picture because he did the weather today around 5:30 after some introductions. But this is Tony Nardi. There, he's got the thumbs up there. Tony is originally from Boston. We'll forgive him for that. He's a Red Sox fan. But he is also a Penn State grad. So the fact that he went to Penn State, he's actually endured the last 2 years at KBGR, if I have that right. I want to make sure it's a Duluth, Minnesota TV station is where he's been working. And so those 2 years, negative 26 is what he said was his most extreme. Yeah, KBJR. Is where he had worked, and just wanted to give a props to Tony. We're so glad that he's here. He will be seen typically and most commonly on weekend mornings, but you'll see him on all the shifts because, again, there's 4 of us we kind of work around. We're a 24/7 operation here, and we have been for 75 years, but we're really happy to have Tony. Again, Tony Nargi is his name, so please welcome him on the post. I have it on our Facebook post, but I wanted to say congratulations to Tony. And if you have a comment, maybe you want to wish Tony a happy welcome to the area in a comment, I'll do my best to put it on the screen. By the way, these temperatures, unusual, right? We were 20 degrees below the record high from 1980. That's a big stretch. The pendulum went the other way, and that's why I was doing jumping jacks or proverbial jumping jacks last week, because even this week, we're going to have a hard time getting above 88 degrees for a high. 83, we're going to struggle to get to 83 tomorrow. And if we've hit now 79 3 days in a row, 81, 83, 84 is going to seem hot to you, given the fact that it's been so cool and really, really comfortable the last couple of days. So I just wanted to say hello to you. If you got a great note, let me know. I'm looking to see if there's any new comments on here. I'll do my best to put it in here. Maybe I do have one. Let me see. I think I have one coming in. New comment that might be pop. We mentioned Kim a moment ago. Denmark's on here. He wants to say hello. Let me fly in here. He's saying next new week, let's keep the temps down. See, Denmark and Kim Thompson-Jones, not a fan of the heat and humidity, so I think this is more agreeable. I think you would have to agree, Denmark, it's more agreeable when temperatures are this cool, and really kind of nice, no doubt. And I got a note from Linda. She wants to also mention. I love this because if you're just watching us for the first time, I know I mentioned we're in our 39th episode. That means tomorrow's what? Our 40th episode. Some people love watching them, and I've got them all on my YouTube channel because some of these are disappearing over a 30-day period on Facebook. But I digress. Linda, good to see you here. She's her picture that she supplies Facebook, but she's absolutely loving the weather, and I'm with you there. I like a good 90-degree day, but when it's 110, 106, as far as feels like, last week, that was kind of tough, I have to say. But the good news is I think we're past the worst of summer. I didn't know summer could be bad. It can be when you get the air conditioning bill, right? When you get the electric bill, you're like, yeah, I wish this stuff would go away. Maybe you just open the windows, because I know Saturday night, my wife and I were walking around Virginia Beach, and we were like, man, this feels good out here. What's the dew point? I was like 54 or 57. It was dropping quick, but it did dip as low as 54 Sunday morning. That was the slice of nice I was talking about. You can't get any more accurate than that, I would suppose. But I got to get ahead to myself here. Temperatures right now are getting warmer as compared to this time last night. I see a +5 in Franklin. That means you're 76 now, but you're 5 degrees warmer than you were this time yesterday. You're right about even in Manio, and you're about 1+ in Virginia Beach. If I want to mention to you, as I come back on camera, I did change my pictures. Where are they? I've been doing these spotlights, these things I like to go to a town and take like 80 photos. That's the max Facebook will allow me within one post. And so I've done a whole host of cities and towns, but I have my Poquoson and my Smithfield rotating this week. I'll mix them up again, but if you're just curious what some of those towns are, Poquoson and Smithfield were actually my first two. The first two, like when I first got here and Patrick Rocky was leaving, I said, I'm going to go to Poquoson. It's the oldest continuously named city in Virginia. That's how it's advertised. Isle of Wight went to Smithfield, Moyock, Eatonton, Franklin, Exmoor, Matthews, Manio, and Elizabeth City was my most recent. I'm hoping to get out if the weather cooperates soon, but don't have a lot of hope in terms of this weekend because of something that might be tropical. Stay with me. Are you still on the weather? I'm on the weather, but I'm also on the spotlights because your neighborhoods matter to me as they matter to you, right? Because you're kind of curious. What's the temperature? Right now, it's 78 in the Suffolk. That's 6 degrees warmer than it was this time last night. And it's 3 degrees warmer now compared to this time yesterday in Newport News at 76 degrees. If you've got a comment, I've got a note. I see a note from, I think somebody here likes it better. I think it's Eric. Is that right? Eric looks news to me. Hey, Eric, great to see you. Eric says much better temps. I would agree with you wholeheartedly. The temperatures right now surpass in my mind. Now, some people get worried. Someone says a week ago from that extreme, which was the last week of July, the week ago to cooler air. Have you ever been on a seesaw? If you're old enough on a teeter-totter, or even if you're not that old, if you've been to the beach, you could have low tide and you could have high tide all on the same day. Sometimes you get both twice the same day. It can happen. It's called Mother Nature. That's how she works. And sometimes, because we have no say in the matter, it just happens when it happens. So August just happened to be when the cool spell came. And I'm happy to enjoy it, just like you are, Eric. Thank you so much for being here. We got to keep moving. I want to keep showing you these temperatures because what we're noticing here as we fly these temperatures back in. Let's see, get back into the other photo here. Where am I? Back on this one. I see what I did. I got to take that one off. Now, hopefully this will wipe it. There it is. Okay, so our temperature and winds are 77, Jackson 75. We don't have any precipitation right now. Maybe a few scattered clouds. I'll expand the view. Looks dry all the way up and down the eastern shore, down the Outer Banks, from Verdanthe to Ocracoke. So things look good there. No severe weather to talk about. We have a large high-pressure dome parked over the Jersey Shore. And it's now 7:50. Just want to say good evening to all of you. More rain now moving across western North Carolina and a low-pressure system moving across the Great Lakes over Lake Ontario. But the question is, and I think the Hurricane Center is watching this, is could this or something related to it off the coast, could something like this develop into a named storm? They've put a 30% chance. I'm going to go ahead and write that out there. Did you say 30? I did. I'm just parroting what they have right now, but they don't put it over the Carolinas, mind you. They have it over the ocean. But there's the possibility that some of that moisture will continue to stream northward, and that could be a concern. But right now, we've seen because of the winds, and I told you it would be a package deal. You weren't going to get a drop in the humidity without the winds. The winds were pretty gnarly. In fact, I take notes because I'm a note taker. At least at Norfolk International, the peak gust on Saturday, 34 miles an hour. The wind speed that peaked Sunday was 29. So 34, 29. Those winds help bring down the temperature and the dew point. It was a package deal. Some people say, I would love the drop in humidity without the wind, but it doesn't always work out that way. The high risk, rip current risk will be high tomorrow, and the low tide occurs at 10:55. They usually coincide around the low tide time frame. Now, we got Dexter last night. If you're just playing the home game version, at 11 o'clock, Dexter. No, not the Showtime Dexter, the friendly serial killer. He's just going to stay out. Some of you are like, what are he talking about? We're talking about a TV show. All right, so this is going out to sea. Dexter's going to be more of an interest for shipping interest by this weekend, cooler waters. That's Dexter, okay? I mean, we could talk about Dexter until the cows come home, but the problem is he's just not coming home. He's going out to sea and he's going to fade away. What may be more important is what's happening here. And some of you are like, well, what's here? Here is right off the coast of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina. Right now, the Hurricane Center has their watchful eye on it. Does it mean it's going to get a name? No. But what if this starts to grow and then moves north? Now you're beginning to see why I don't think I have the opportunity to do a spotlight this weekend. Because if we get rain and all that comes up Saturday and Sunday, you're going to like, boo. But this is first warning. So I got to tell you ahead of time. I like to keep you ahead of the curve. That's why some of you, not all, but some of you watch these live streams, even days after. But there's Dexter, bye-bye. 30%, but that's not the only one. I can't just label it Aaron, although Aaron's the next name. There's another system. Well, lo and behold, looks like it's way out here. Let me can I go for the other way? There we go. It's a wave off of Africa that has a 50% chance of becoming another storm. So could this be Aaron? Could this be Ferdinand? Could. But because this is Brown, maybe this is Aaron and that's Ferdinand. It's really going to come down to who forms first. It's kind of like when you're going on a road trip and your kids say, I called dibs on the front seat. Something like that. Whoever's going to form first is going to get the name. And those names, as I've told you before, and I'll show you this, is Aaron and Ferdinand. Those are the two names on the list. It'll follow up by Gabrielle and Umberto. I don't know if we have anyone on the call named Umberto or Imelda, but these names are predetermined. They rotate them every 6 years, but we just don't have much control. Now, I do know we have an Aaron. Aaron Miller's one of our anchors, news anchors in the morning, so you might want to see if this storm forms in the 50 percentile or the 30% in yellow. We'll see who gets their name. If you got a comment, you have a question, I'm hopefully here to say hello. Eric wanted to follow up. He says he's ready for September temperatures. I am too in a way, Eric, although I love all the seasons, right? I think I've told you this story. Many of you have heard this story before. I moved here the 2 days after your snowstorm. What snowstorm? The only one, man. The one on February 19th. Everybody remembers February 19th, that 10, 11, 12-inch snow that Hampton Roads got, and Outer Banks may have gotten. I was just here 2 days after, so I just saw the mounds of snow. And I love those seasons, too. I like being able to make snowballs, snow angels with the kids, that kind of thing. But we're just not at that point yet. And I do think ragweed is also going to become a bigger problem for allergy sufferers. So if you're not feeling great, You might want to check your symptoms, talk to your doctor. Those are some of the things, weather stories that will be evolving this month. Let me get to the cool week. It is now 7:55. My clock's fast, I think. A cool week, highs in the low to mid 80s. Oh, come on. And we'll struggle to get there. Humidity will return, check. When is that going to happen? Probably by Wednesday, certainly higher on Thursday, and probably even higher by this weekend. But rain returns, storms will be with us, and we got to watch what's off the coast of Florida, off the coast of Georgia, off the coast of South Carolina. Big picture shows the severe weather. I like to be able to zoom in if you're from the military and you're homesick. I imagine even when I went to camp as a young kid, I always got homesick. They're like, what's the weather doing back home? Well, we got severe weather all in these orange polygons. So it looks like you got a string not far from Denver, downwind of Denver, also into maybe areas around South Dakota. Here's actually 2 or 3 here. Let's zoom in on this one just to give it a bird's eye view. So this shows you that we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect around, say, Fall River till 6:15, and it looks like Dawes and Sioux counties there till 6:15. So some of these areas are highly localized, but I just wanted to give you a bigger perspective. And still some rain moving across Georgia and western North Carolina. If you're on the call, you had a question, you want me to zoom in, I'll do my best. Kim Jones is back on here. I want to say hi to Kim. She says temps. She says, as I fly back in, she says temps we're better. You're giving me, she says they were better, but the temperatures, when there's a conjunction with your improvement statement, I have to watch out. She says, I still need cooler weather, LOL. We'll do our best, right? I do think we're going to warm up as we head through this week, but not as humid as we were earlier this summer. June and July have been very, very tough for those that are sensitive, and most of us are sensitive when it starts feeling like 106 to 110, and that's the way it felt a good part of last week. All right, so we talked about the severe weather out west, really just some benign showers moving across the southeast right now. I mentioned last week the fire smoke, the Canadian wildfire smoke. It looked like most of it moved to our north. So if you have family in New Jersey, you have family in upstate New York, there's a better probability that they sensed it if their weather was clear enough, but it could have created some haze. This would take us out to about 4 o'clock tomorrow. Doesn't look like it's going to be an issue here at all, which is good. Norfolk normal rainfall is 5.88 for the month of August. That's a 30-year average. And given the fact that we had a somewhat drier than average July, not everybody, but at least the airport, we usually see about 5.5 or just under that in September as well. So we are in the soggiest period of the calendar year. And so far we had nothing today, nothing yesterday, but we are now at 0.14. That was the rainfall we received at the airport on Friday. We'll keep an eye on that for those who like to keep track. High temperatures today, 79. Hit 80 in Hampton, 80 in Newport News, and 81 in Gloucester, and we hit 81 in Ahoskie. Just want to remind you, if you're getting hungry, I'm getting kind of hungry. Some of you might want to go to WTKR.com/Marcos and participate in our pizza giveaway contest. We do it every week. We announce the winners on Thursdays. I love it because Marcos is very generous. They're doing this, and they also have a deal of the week. They didn't have to do this either, but this is something they want to do from 11 to 3 now for this week, and the promo code at marcos.com is WTKR Lunch. Looks like you've got several chances. Several options. 2, 3, 4. You got 5 options. A 6-inch sub, regular salad, pozole, a pizza bowl, or a 1-topping pizza. I think that's a pretty good deal, especially since you're probably going to spend $10, $12, $15 at most drive-thrus. That's a pretty good deal for lunch. This is what the certificate looks like. This is what a Magnifico 1-topping pizza looks like in the pozole. One of my lunch favorites right here. I love the pepperoni and sausage is awesome. If you haven't tried it, as I mentioned, there are 5 stores that are participating in this particular contest, and we're adding, or not they are adding a brand new store, as in the one in Chesapeake, right here, the South Battlefield, right near Great Bridge Middle School. It's going to be opening up soon, so they will be able to participate as well. All right, we're back to the maps, back to the weather. To kind of reset, we were talking about highs, and one thing you'll note, while it was 81 in Wakefield, again, normal high is 88. So we were 7 degrees below normal in many locations. Here we were 9 degrees below normal. And if you look at when we actually hit 90 last, it was the last day of July. Both months, June and July, had 12 days at 90. Kind of hard to believe, but maybe it's not. You say, this has been tough. It was and has been tough, but when we look at the hottest day, you don't have to go further than June 26th. That was 99 degrees. Hot, hot, hot. And our last time we hit 90, of course, was July 31st. That was last week. We hit 95, but that's now all behind us. So if you're keeping score, and I told you, I believe it was maybe episode 36, I said we're going to have a hard time getting 9 days in August at 90 because we're wasting or maybe erasing the first, we're getting rid of essentially the first week of August. Right? How are you going to get if the average is 9, but you're going to erase one full week with these cooler the cooler temperatures? That means you only have 3 weeks to make up for lost ground. I just don't see it. So I think this is going to be trending down. We average about 36. That number is maybe a little harder to read, but we typically see about 36 days. Let's see here, 36 days, there it is. 36.2 is the average over 30 years, but this comes by way of the Weather Service in Wakefield. I want to say good evening to all of you. Jessica Lynn says hello. She's on here. I want to say hi to her. She says, absolutely beautiful out today. It really was. And I just once Saturday evening started to evolve, dew points just dropped dramatically into the 50s. And I knew that if we got a Saturday evening that was good, it would even get better on Sunday morning. Sunday morning we got as low as 54. It was like 57 dew point Saturday night, but it was 54 Sunday morning. I thought that was pretty cool. That's just me. That's the weather nerd in me, and maybe there's somebody, a weather nerd in your family, or maybe you're the weather nerd with me. I'm glad that you're here. We averaged now, so far, we've had 27 days. That's how many days we've had so far at 90, but we're going to be putting up that on pause. We're going to put it on hold for right now until we get maybe later on in the month when there's another chance to hit 90. By the way, it's 8:01. I mentioned Tony Nargi, our brand new weather guy. We're excited about him. Mentioned him a moment ago. If you're just joining us, he's going to be doing weekend mornings. He did the 5:30 Maine weather today. He's going to do it again tomorrow, so if you want to check it out. And I'm going to have a great weather story for you coming up in just a moment too. So we'll get back to the numbers. Our current reading in Carrollton is 74. Currituck 74, and currently in Cape Charles 74. It's almost like room temperature, but it's like that joke from Stephen Wright. Every room is room temperature, right? Every room that you're in is whatever you set it at, whatever you put the thermostat to. But it is 70, feels like the same, but it feels like 73. There's no dew point difference in terms of the feels like because they're so low. They're in the low 60s right now. But as I mentioned on Sunday morning, our dew point was as low as 54. So if you want to know how it's trending, it's moving up. Notice it's +4, +5. What does that mean precisely? Oops, let me come back on here. That just means that we're talking about temperatures that are going to be, dew points that are coming up. So it's becoming more humid as compared to this time last night. It's +5, 5 degrees more humid in Virginia Beach than it was at this time, 8 o'clock last night. So it's a little bit, it's a slow creep, right? It's creeping back up. And over the week, last week, we were at 79, I believe it was Wednesday. 79 dew point Wednesday, briefly, but now it got down as low as 54, so it all got very nice. But now it's closer to 60, as we just saw a moment ago with that map. The current map is about 60. Dew point temperature in Richmond, 57, 53 Pittsburgh, and the current temperatures. I want to say hello to everybody in Knoxville. I've been there for 15 years, and I've been here a little more than 5 months in Hampton Roads and in the Northeast North Carolina. We talk about some spotlights, some of the great towns. Moyock, Edenton are just some, and Elizabeth City was there at the harbor of hospitality just a couple of weeks ago. Temperatures right now look like what's happened. Some of you would love to teleport to another city, maybe because you have family, but would you teleport to another city for their weather? Seriously doubt you would go to Vegas for the heat. Maybe you would for the 110 Phoenix. It's a dry heat. But look at the dew points here. We're at temperatures. It's 67 in Atlanta. That's pretty cool. That's cooler than Maine right now, and 76 in Minneapolis. So there are some cool numbers, no doubt. I'm kind of curious if you kind of see what's going on here. I got a note from Mike. I want to give a shout out to Mike. He says, as I fly back in here and tell it straight, he says, love the humidity. Slept with my windows open. I would say for sure. The only drawback is if you have ragweed sensitivities and you're wheezing and sneezing, and that might be more of an issue for inland Virginia as opposed to somebody that lives near the ocean front. Because if you're near the ocean front, you might have that sea breeze and it feels good. But he's saying it was nice sleeping weather. I agree wholeheartedly. It was just nice to be able to sit out on a porch and read a book or look at your phone, whatever you want to do. But by the time you got into Saturday night, Sunday morning, even Sunday night, it has felt good. We've got one more day like that. One more day like that, Mike, and then we're going to start to see the humidity start to come back up. All right, it is 8:04. Let me show you the future temperatures, because I think there's going to be another cool spell, even though we warm up this week. I'm going to show you the 7-day in just a moment, but this represents 10 days. I think even go beyond the 10 days. So notice the colors in cool and yellow in Quebec, in the Great Lakes. That's the 14th. It looks like to me, based on some of the modeling I've been looking at today, that some of this cooler air wants to come back around the 19th of August. Oh, that's my birthday. It's not really, but I'm just saying that might be what you're thinking. Or that's my so-and-so's friend's birthday. Okay, so maybe you'll remember my new prediction. I think we're going to get really cool again around the 19th. But we still have maybe a few more hiccups in terms of tropical systems, as we already saw the potential for an Aaron and a Ferdinand. We've already gotten Dexter, but he's moving out to sea, so we have to worry about him. But as far as the cooler weather, because I think Eric said he would like to have September temperatures, and I think that might be coming back in as far as a possibility around the 19th of August. If you're a planner, you'll appreciate that prediction. If you're not a planner, you say, whatever. Okay, I'll believe it when I see it. That's human nature too. I get that as well. All right, we're moving on. It is now 8:05. As far as the planner is tomorrow, sun is up at 6:14, goes to bed at 8:07. You'll notice I got clouds on the front end. So this is going to be a partly sunny day where we see more clouds in the morning, more sunshine in the afternoon. And if you're in the Outer Banks, it may be nothing but sunshine. Let me say that again. If you're in the Outer Banks, it may be nothing but sunshine for you tomorrow, as some of these clouds will be coming in from the northwest. So 73 at 8, 80 at noon, and a high temperature of 83 degrees is where I expect to be. Again, keep in mind, we'll struggle to get to 83. We haven't even hit 80 but one time this month in 4 days. That's pretty amazing when the normal high is 88. So like I said, the pendulum has swung the other direction. So here's where we're going the next 5 days. Normal high is 88. I showed this at the top of the live stream, but I want to show it again. We're going to be around well below normal for the next couple of days, but I think we'll make a run toward perhaps maybe 87 by Monday. So we'll have to wait and see. Monday meaning a week from today. Notice the chance of rain goes up. It's like a stair step. 60%, 60%. So we've got chances of rain only increasing as we head through the next couple of days. That's my anticipation. Here's another look at the rainfall forecast. If you like model data, just plain raw data, this would suggest we're going to get probably 1 or 2 inches by Saturday night. So if that system to the south begins to creep northward, which I think it will, then we're going to have some opportunities of getting wet, and it'll stick around probably through the weekend and maybe even into early next week, depending on track. Because we don't know if it's going to come to Raleigh. Will it go to Nags Head? Will it go back out to sea? We have to wait and see. I'm talking about the moisture south of Georgia and off the coast of Florida. Some of that moisture may actually drift northward. Eastern Shore forecast, as we wrap things up on the weather front here. Eastern Shore, about 81 Bloxham, 80 in Onancock. Look for Exmoor, about 80 tomorrow. Lots of clouds you see here. So the UV index is down to 4. It's not that high. 0 chance of rain I expect for Cape Charles, but more sunshine here. Well, that's weird. Yeah, I know. More sunshine for the Outer Banks, just the way it goes. 80 for Nags Head, Manio 81, Rodanthe about 81, and Ocracoke about 83 tomorrow. Storm Prediction Center, we've talked about this. These colors, dark green means isolated, and yellow means scattered severe storms. So between now and 8 o'clock, we also looked out west, places like South Dakota, maybe Nebraska. Some scattered severe storms are possible. You can include Amarillo, Texas, North Texas in that equation as well. That's coming by way of the Storm Prediction Center, but nothing going to be found that's severe here, nor do we expect it on Tuesday. Tuesday, Bismarck might have, or at least nearby, some scattered severe storms, but nothing on the East Coast, so we're good there. Tuesday, tomorrow will be severe free, or at least a non-severe day. Wednesday, it's really paltry, just one little patch of green that's over toward maybe the Dakotas, from Fargo to Omaha. Minneapolis, St. Paul might have some isolated severe storms. That would be about it. Nothing to see here locally, nor do I expect it. So here's the futurecast. So tonight, and I think this is important to show on camera, notice how clear it is. 11 o'clock, you're going to go, hey, it's great, but you wake up to all these clouds. Where I don't see any clouds. Oh, now I do, because I turned my head. 6 a.m., right? It's already here. You're out the door. don't be surprised if you see more clouds. Now, it might be sunny here in the Outer Banks, but they're coming in from the west, so places like Williamsburg might be mostly cloudy. Places like Franklin, Exmoor, mostly cloudy. Doesn't mean you can't get some sun tomorrow, but the brighter area may very well be Duck to Roanoke Island to Wanchese. By midday, it's still bright and sunny, or mostly sunny in Duck. Elizabeth City might be getting more sun, but then the sun pops out and it might cloud up again. I left a 10%. 10% chance of rain tomorrow. Where there is some discrepancies, you like that word? Where there's some differences is Wednesday. Some of the models want to put more rain, like this one. I've got us a 20% chance. I think it's going to be slower to get in here. So my anticipation is that we're going to get about a 20% chance of rain for Wednesday. If I need to change that, I'll revisit it tomorrow. But that's my expectation. Notice the winds are still coming out of the northeast as a general rule. 8:10 now. Tuesday morning, we're in the mid, upper 60s. That feels good. That feels good. And notice the sunshiny skies in North Carolina and mostly cloudy south side and peninsulas. Tonight's low, 59 in Franklin, 64 in Elizabeth. Are you telling me they're in the 50s in Conway? I am. And 59 in Franklin, I am. That's cool, man. I mean, there's a sliver of, say, September weather. It's about 68 for Virginia Beach and Hampton to start the morning tomorrow. Afternoon, I've got us at 84 for North Carolina, 83 south side, 83 peninsulas, and here's another graphical look to show you about 79 Cape Charles, 81 Hampton, 84 for Edenton, and 84 for Hertford tomorrow afternoon. Nags Head, about 80 degrees for your Tuesday. Here's your first warning, WTKR News 3 7-day forecast. So we've got 20% chance of storms to Wednesday. Thursday, I see more clouds, scattered storms, and we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. But this system from the southeast has a good chance of moving northward. Keep in mind the best chance of rain may be coming in on Friday and Saturday. Still days 6 and 7, there's still lower confidence here because, again, don't know the track of how this storm may interact with land. Is it going to be like a pinball? You remember a pinball machine? Bing, 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 bing. You know, once they move over land, it could drift further inland, it could move further out. So it's still a bit difficult to have any certainty. I do have rain in the Sunday outlook, but I don't necessarily think it's a washout. You've got to check back with us because that's how tropical systems tend to behave, which is erratically. Does that make sense? Well, anyway, just showing you the forecast here. Also, as I come back to the 7-day in a moment, I wanted to show you some happy shots. This comes by way of Brian Talley, Fort Monroe sunrise yesterday. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, when you got great weather, there's going to be our WTKR photographers are going to come to this, step up to the plate and hit the ball right out of the park. And Brian, thank you for doing that for us just now. Also, Kelly Cross did it again. Boom! Buckrow Beach, sunrise. Kelly, thank you for that. Love the fact that the water's there splashing. That's just a great texture to that photo. I love that. And last but not least, to get you in a good mood, hopefully a good mood, the James River sunset from Katrina Gay, one of our WTKR spotters, actually WTKR photographers. We have a neighborhood weather watchers group, which is separate, but this is nice. I just love this picture from Katrina, and it also sets a good mood as we go down. The sun went down tonight at 8:08, and we'll be going to bed tomorrow night at 8:07. So maybe you captured a similar picture with your camera or your smartphone, which I got to talk about here in just a moment. But Jared, just to revisit, just so you know, our 7-day forecast is on the screen, so you'll know what to expect in the coming days. I don't want to forget my sponsor because they are giving away free pizza. I mean, how hard is it to give away free pizza? You'd be surprised because some people are like, oh, there must be some strings attached. No, the only ask that we have of you is to tell us your address so we can mail you the certificate if you win. Not everybody's going to win, but we have 5 locations, soon to be 6. The new location will be near Great Bridge Middle. But the webpage, WTKR.com/Marcos, love it. The fact that he's got a special deal of the week this week, which is WTKR Lunch. You go to Marcos.com, you can pick one of 5 lunch combos for just $7.99. That's pretty cool, and it's very valid between 11 and 3 p.m. So check out the deal of the week. Share it with your friends if you want. Screen capture that if you want. But I love it, the fact that they're being generous. And where there's the pizza certificate, once you get one in the mail, if you're so lucky to win, you will be able to have 1 month, it's basically 1 large, 1 topping, monthly for free for a year. I think that's remarkable. And it also takes a little bit of pressure off the pizza budget, because if pizza night for you is on a Friday, Saturday, Monday night, whenever it is, you'll find it a lot easier to do that. So thank you for that. Pizzoli Magnifico. Check out if you want to go there tonight, go to Marcos.com. But I want to thank Marcos for helping us out and giving back to the community, because I do know Marcos is a big fan of the weather. All right, time to reset. Got some great pictures. All right, it's 8:14. I got to keep going. I had a great weekend. I had a chance with my wife. We saw something. Let me see if I can find it. I know I have it. I went to a beach I had not been to. Are you ready for this? I'm still exploring. So, well, you've been to those other towns. Haven't you been everywhere in Norfolk and Virginia Beach? No. Been to First Landing. I've been in other places to take pictures. But this picture, these are little baby seagulls at Chicks Beach. We were at Chicks Beach, and I thought, hey, these are like chick gulls on Chicks Beach. How cool is that? Anyway, my wife and I had a great time. My wife, Stephanie. We were enjoying the coolness, the low humidity. You can see the Chesapeake Bay Bridge in the background. And then we had some lunch on a very famous, I won't advertise for them, but you probably can figure out who they are, the very famous rooftop restaurant here in Norfolk. And this little thing called a boat was coming by, which is really wild because it was like doing a 3-point turn. So here comes the boat, and then it's doing this like weird 3-point turn or 5-point turn, and then it went out the other way. I thought that was wild. And so my story is really simple. It's kind of funny. I had gone, stepped away from the table, came back. My wife says that she went over to, there were 3 ladies, older ladies, and that's a relative term, but I would say probably late 60s, early 70s, which doesn't matter. But the point I was going to say is that these ladies were handing me the phone, they were fidgeting. Anyway, my wife just wanted to help. She says, hey, would you like me to take your photo so you could be in it? So you have to understand, when you have a family of 4, which we are, my 2 daughters, or a family of 3, it's sometimes hard. You know, this was not a thing necessarily, taking selfies, when I grew up in the 70s and 80s and 90s. So many of you are like, yeah, I know what you mean. So my family here, so we oftentimes our arm is not long enough. Does that make sense? So my wife was just being kind. She went over and she said, would you like me to take the photo for you? She said that to one of the ladies. She said, that way you can be in it. And she looked like she was so angry at my wife. She said, no. And my wife just like, she says, honey, she says, I don't know these ladies. So here's where I thought it was funny. Here you have a lady who's trying to help the other ladies get a picture of this cool boat that's doing the 4-point turn, the 5-point turn, right? So you have I just thought it was funny. We had a great time. One of the great things about low humidity is people get out and they start taking photos of fun things around their neighborhood. And in this neighborhood, it just happened to be a Carnival cruise that was pulling out of Norfolk. So if you like those stories, you got other stories you want to share with me, I would love to hear them because I have just about run out of time here. It's 8:16. Thank you so much for being with me. I got a note from Marilyn, some follow-up comments. She says, love this cool down. I've been outside all day. Oh, that's a good testimony right there, Marilyn. Thank you for that. And I got another note from, looks like Markale Griffin. My aunt's birthday is on the 9th. Okay, well, the 9th is, that's Saturday. Probably some rain if this southern system moves up. I think it will. We'll keep an eye on that, Mr. Griffin. So hang with me. Let's see here. Mike loves the low humidity. He talked about the windows being down. I think we covered that. And some other notes. Kim's laughing. I don't know if she's laughing with me or at me, but I do like her sense of humor as well. So anyway, so the next time you offer to take someone's photo and they say, I don't want to be in it because I don't know these people either, it was just funny to me. Sometimes the smallest things can make you laugh. Anyway, my name is David Aldrich. Don't forget, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny or serious or tropical. Every day is a gift. So make the most of it in your neighborhood. We'll see you here tomorrow. Take care.